Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Sports Director Jeff Blankman.
Thank you very much, John, and good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome here to our first Pizza Ranch Coaches Show for this fall sports season. We're going to be talking some football, of course, with the opening night of the high school football season. We'll also talk some volleyball as one of our two volleyball teams from Carroll and Kemper. The Kemper Knights have got some matches under their belt. We'll talk Kemper girls tennis. They started their season all the way back in early August, so we'll talk with Dina Finneran. We're going to talk as well with Thomas Nelson about the cross country. They're going to get their season underway today down at Glenwood. And Deb Danner, we're not talking girls swimming yet. They don't start till September 11th. We'll add Deb to the show coming up right before their first meet of the season coming up here again in September. So, again, a lot of coaches going to be joining us here pretty quick, but as we always do, we're going to start off with the scoreboard from last night. Let's run through. We'll start Class 3A District 6. Carroll Tigers falling over at Gilbert. Heartbreaking late loss, losing at 20-15. It was Underwood over Harlan, 33-29. They played that game Thursday. Greene County knocks off Boone, 36-20. It was Glenwood over Atlantic, 32-7. Ogden blanks Perry, 18-0. And Clarinda outscores Creston, 35-21. Class 2A District 2 matchup of two top 5 teams. It was Kemper defeating Cherokee in a high-scoring affair with a lot of penalties, according to Coach Steinkamp, 44-28. OABCIG knocks off Ridgeview, 24-7. Okoboji Milford shuts out HMS, 49-0. Southeast Valley over Manson Northwest Webster, 37-13. It was Algona defeating Spirit Lake, 33-21. Also in Class 1A District 2, it was South Central Calhoun edging Earlham. Knew that was going to be a good matchup. It was 20-14. ICAM Manning defeated Esac County 40-15. It was Emmetsburg over ELC 27-7. Sioux Central, Sioux Rapids down Pocahontas area 20-6. Southeast Valley again over Manson Northwest Webster 37-13. And St. Ansgar defeated South Hamilton 59-14. Class A District 8, it was again ICAM Manning over Esac 40-15. Woodbury Central knocks off Lawton Bronson 33-30. MMCRU got past Akron Westfield 35-7. Tri-Center down to St. Albert 49-21. Westwood of Sloan beat Alto Aurelia 20-13, and Loma edges AHST of Oklahoma 12-6. We move now into 8-man District 9 Audubon. They flat roll over St. Mary's of Remsen 64-18. They look really, really special this year. Glen Ralston rallies, beat St. Edmund on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, 22-20. Boyer Valley topped our weave of the Rockets fall last night at home, 44-21. Cooner Rapids Bayard topped Siouxland Christian 60-0. That game called at the halftime. It was Fremont Mills over Cam 52-6. Griswold down Stanton Essex 28-20. And Exira Kimballton knocks off East Mills by a final of 46-27. We're going to step away. We'll take a break. Ryan Steinkamp from the Kemper football team set to join us next year on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Hey moms and dads out there, let Pizza Ranch make feeding your family fun and affordable. Every Tuesday night, kids 12 and under eat free. Whether they love the pizza, chicken, or mac and cheese, you'll make them all happy. When you're on the go with sports, church, or, well, just life, come in for a quick and delicious buffet. The best part is, they'll do the dishes. Pizza Ranch makes family meals fun and fast. For delivery or carryout, call 792-3456. Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
Back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show, talking right now with Kemper head football coach Ryan Steinkamp as the Knights start the season a 1-0 matchup of two teams ranked in the top 5 squaring off last night. They hold on to beat Cherokee 44-28. Coach, appreciate you joining us here this morning, and congratulations. I know not as pretty as what maybe some people wanted in a game 1, but you got two really good football teams. You come out of there 1-0.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff. Yeah, it was a hard-fought game. Our kids played hard, and a lot of credit to Cherokee. They're a good football team.
You're coming out of there with some things to work on. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But you put 44 points on the board against a good ball club. What'd you do well?
The run game was great. O-line did a good job. Jordan did a good job. Brayton Alford had a great night receiving. All the receivers did a good job. Things we got to work on. But overall, all of our kids played hard and played with confidence.
Sounds like balanced offensively. You named Jaron, and then you name a bunch of the receivers, and you said everybody kind of played well. So, what was the strength in the offense last night?
Just distributing the ball. They're doing some things, try to take away some guys, and then just taking what was there too. And the kids are recognizing it on the field too. So I'm really proud of their ability to adjust and realize a few checks here or there, and they did a good job just being smart there.
Did you guys open up pretty quick offensively?
We're known for long games. I haven't watched the film yet. I think the first quarter was an hour.
Yeah, over 3 hours, I think, for the game last night, Coach. So I can understand.
But we're known for long games and stuff. But we did a good job. We did a good job moving the sticks and stuff. That's the thing I've always wanted. We did a good job moving them, and then hitting them when we had some opportunities.
Were you able to go deep, or was it a lot the short passing game to move the chains?
It's a little bit of both too. It's a little bit of both. Ryan Lucas did a nice job coming on the backfield and stuff too. But yeah, it's just kind of, they were kind of pressing up a little bit, so we just took some shots, took what was there. I thought Brock made a lot of good choices at quarterback tonight.
What'd you see from him, and who was the guys that was getting free deep?
No one was getting free. They did a great job covering it. I mean, they were all over our guys too. We had trouble getting up the line at first, and the kids worked harder at it. And Brock he had great leadership tonight. That's what you want to see out of a senior quarterback.
Okay, we've talked on the offense. What was good about the defense last night?
Just they were coachable. We had to make some adjustments too. And they have a kid like that, quarterback, and he's tough to tackle. And I tell the guys, like, I do my best X's and O's wise. It comes down to you guys pursue and hustle, and he got loose a couple times, and the kids were there. They were hustling. They were playing hard, and then in adjustments and stuff, I thought they did a really nice job.
Were you guys able to maintain him most of the game, and then he would break free, or was Cherokee able to kind of consistently move the ball, and you forced him to have long drives?
It was a little bit of both. He got loose a couple times. On pass plays, I thought our secondary did a great job covering. But he's fast. He's a fast kid. And, our D linemen aren't really able to chase him. He's running around, and their line did a good job staying on the line of scrimmage. So he can still pass it running around, and he got loose a couple of times.
When did you feel like you were able to take control of the game, or did you ever really feel like you were in control before that final drive, where you were able to kind of run the clock out and get the game over with?
Austin Heinrichs had a big pick towards the end of the fourth quarter there. That was huge. At that point, it's a 16-point ball game, and credit to Cherokee. We got up at 2 touchdowns a couple of times, and they answered back. Even the first half, we're up a couple of times, like a couple touchdowns, and they bowed back. But I was just proud of our kids' resilience. They didn't fold when their backs against the wall, and they answered the call.
We've talked a little bit about what went well. You and I were talking during the commercial break. There's some things that you guys need to iron out, as every team does in week number 1. This certainly isn't just you guys, but what were the things that you saw that you feel like you have some work to do on?
Definitely penalties. We had a lot of penalties. Got to shot ourselves in the foot a few times, whether like missed alignment, not enough guys in the line, or we covered guys, and then just little things like that we can work on. And I told the kids, like, that's us coaches, and we probably didn't notice that during practice enough too. We're going to watch that and correct them on that.
A lot of penalties, or just kind of those drive killing type of penalties?
A lot of penalties. a lot of penalties.
And mainly on the offense, or did the defense stay away from getting penalties on them?
Yeah, I think for the most part. A lot more on offense, but it's a lot of kids playing both ways, and and they get locked into the game too. It's first game of the year. They're kids. They're out there playing their hearts out. Those penalties are going to happen, and yeah, we got to clean up a lot of coachable things.
So every time you guys would get up, it looks like you're pulling away. They keep coming back, but that also shows resilience for you guys to keep then coming back and rebuilding the lead. What did you learn from your club about their ability to kind of answer what Cherokee kept answering?
Just their mental toughness and confidence in each other too. A lot of times out of a timeout or dead ball, like, we can ask kids what they thought would be good, and they had some good suggestions. And they're the ones out in the field seeing it, and we want to put them at the best opportunity and the best places. What
were the kids saying that they were seeing, and what were they talking to you guys about on the sidelines?
Just some of the line stuff. They're moving their lines around. They're moving some guys around defensively, trying to take things away. So just them recognizing that.
You mentioned the line. I heard a lot of people talking about the size and physicality that you guys were going to have up front, especially in the offensive side of the ball. Did you see what you wanted to see from the guys up front tonight?
Yeah, they kept going. They played a lot of snaps and got a little tired, but they kept finding each other. Something we talked about a lot is, like, finding each other, encouraging the guy next to you, doing it together.
I'm just kind of having a little fun with your coach. You talk about playing long games. You guys going to have to practice 4 hours to have the guys in shape to play the 3-hour games?
No, I don't think so. No, I think keep it short, keep it short and sweet, and clean things up.
So you opened at home. Next week you're on the road. You travel up to Algona. They're usually pretty tough. What are you looking at with those guys? And have you had a chance to peek at them and all in the offseason to kind of know a little bit about them going into next week?
No, I don't know a lot about them. I know they're a good team with a good program. They've had a really solid run here, especially the last few years too. So I expect them to be a great opponent, a great challenge, and I'm just excited about the opportunity. It's
a non-district game. What does that change the thought process for you guys at all, or not really? It's still a game, and you want to go win.
No, yeah, it's the same thing. I told the guys that you enjoy it until midnight strikes. Now we're 0-0 again, and we're focused on one play. Just getting better each day.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday morning, and we look forward to catching up with you next week to preview that game up in Algona.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Jeff. I appreciate it.
You bet. Head coach Ryan Steinkamp again with the Kemper football team, back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up here on 1380 AM, 95.1 FM KCM, part of the CB Sports Network.
At St. Anthony Regional Hospital, we're proud to be recognized by the American Heart Association for excellence in stroke care and cardiac arrest survival. Why? Because we follow the latest research-based guidelines proven to help patients recover faster and live healthier lives. It's just one more way St. Anthony is committed to delivering the highest quality care for you and your family. Always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show rolling on here on this Saturday morning. Jeff Blankman joined here today by Craig Rowetter, of course, the head football coach of the Carroll Tigers. A tough, disappointing loss for the Tigers last night. Coach, I so much appreciate you joining us here. That had to be a heartbreaker last night, so sorry about that one.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, Jeff. And, yeah, like I said last night, kids played well enough to win, and mistake on the coach's part kind of cost us that one.
I explain a little, if you will, on that. I hate to ask it that way, but I wasn't there last night. So how and why are you putting that on the coaching staff?
Well, I'm putting it on me, but we were just first off, we should have we had the ball just past midfield and decided to go for it on fourth, where we could have maybe punted, and but we kind of wanted to keep our offense on the field since we felt like our defense was on quite a bit. But, we held them and got to a 4th and 3. I think Nick called it about a 40-yard field goal attempt, and we had had some substitutions earlier with cramping and some of that, and then we ended up with one too many defensive linemen on the field on the field goal. And the field goal was wide right, but with 12 guys on the field, they retained possession of the ball, and then we're able to score with about 50 seconds left to take the lead.
Tough one to take like that, Coach. With 50 seconds, were you guys able to get anything offensively to maybe get back in and give yourself a chance there at the buzzer?
Yeah, special teams, again, were like that little snafu there on that one, but otherwise special teams were rock solid for us the rest of the night. In fact, they kicked it. Traven Childress returned the kickoff at halftime all the way down to the 5, which set up our score right in the second half to take the lead. And so they weren't going to kick it deep to him. They ended up kicking it short to Caden Clucky, and he actually made a couple guys miss, and we hit some blocks, and he got it onto our side of the field. We got it to about the 40, I think. So that gave us a chance to get a couple throws in yet, plus with the timeout. And we got the matchup we wanted, and the one was we overthrew one that would have been there, and then we got the matchup we wanted, and just Gilbert safety made a nice play and got the interception that kind of sealed the deal there. But we special teams are important, and we saw both sides of the coin on that last night.
Able to get an early lead on a field goal. Kieran Polkin kicking a 22-yard early in the second quarter. How were you guys able to get in range there, and how did the offense work in the first half?
Good. We came out firing just like we had planned. Everything went right as the game plan followed it to a T. We took I think Gilbert had 4, got a first down, and then 3 plays, and they punted. So they had 4 offensive plays in the first quarter, that we took the rest of the quarter. We just we drove 96 some yards. Got down to the one, got caught in the backfield on one, so I had to settle for a field goal. But that was it was a 9+ minute drive and ended with points. So that's kind of how we that was a nice way to start the season with an opening drive like that. Would have loved a touchdown, but we got points regardless.
When I hear of a drive like that, Coach, I'm thinking offensive lines just grinding and getting you first downs.
Yeah, that's what we kind of took advantage of. We had one defensive end we kind of wanted to game plan around and attack that side, and with our sweet play and Gavin Holt leading the way, and with the kick-out block, and Adam Malik was reading that really well, and we kind of went inside and out a little bit with Adam, and so that was kind of the whole drive was just chewing up clock and running it down.
You guys got up 9-7 there as neither team scored in the first quarter, but it sounded like the offenses got into – you had a rhythm in the first, almost scored in the first quarter, but both offenses maybe picking things up a little bit in the second quarter?
Yeah, we took advantage, of special teams. We ended up having to punt, and they muffed a punt, and then Matt Collison was able to jump on it and set us up, and we actually took a shot right from there, and it was a good look, and Kieran just kind of bounced off him a little bit, but he redeemed himself, and we ran a little counter play not too long after that, and with Kieran, and he was able to punch it in there for the touchdown for us in the second quarter, and then they kind of marched it down. Again, their style wasn't much different than it was a year ago. They had some really big bodies up front, just kind of leaned on you and ran with that double wing, and so they kind of did their own chewing up clock and were able to score to get ahead of us right before half.
They had some success on the ground, Coach. I know they had a 61-yard touchdown or so in there. Was their success maybe a couple of big plays, or were they methodical, kind of like you guys were on that opening drive? There were a couple of big chunk ones that got us a couple times, but for the most part, especially in the second half, it was a lot of 1 and 1 yard, 3 yards, and kind of, I think both teams were getting a little bit worn down. It was a physical game. It was, both lines, offense and defense, were, kind of trading blows, and it was, they would hit a bigger run if they could, get one guy playing two gaps. But other than that, it was kind of a grinded out type of game. You mentioned all the success special teams. Traven Childress had that big return. You guys punch it in. You go up 15-14, and then, as you kind of explained, the end of the game, Coach, what do you take away from this? Because you knew your schedule was going to be really tough here early these first 4 or 5 weeks, but it sounds like you went over there and had a chance to win. So even though you come out of there with a loss, you got to feel pretty good about a lot of the things you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just keep beating this like a dead horse, but the kids played well enough to win. It wasn't, they did everything that we asked, and that was on the loss was fully on me. The joys of being the head coach, and but you also got to take ownership of it, and so you kind of show the kids that as well. But no, we did some really good things with Camden King getting his first start at quarterback, took care of the ball and ran things efficiently, and we just, so I was happy with some. There's some things we'll clean up, but for the most part, with 9 new offensive starters on the night, I thought we did some really good things up front and moved the ball. Didn't have quite the yardage, maybe that I would have liked, but a lot of that was because we were set up with really, really good field position due to special teams for the most part. So. I think that'll come, and but I think Spencer's up next, and it's going to be they gave Humboldt everything they wanted last night, and I think ended up being 35-14 maybe, but I think it was tied at 14 going to the third quarter. So Spencer would definitely be another another 4A team that won their district last year. So
Are they going to be a team that would be a big physical team that wants to run? What do you know about them right now?
oh yeah, they haven't changed. They haven't changed. It's been about a dozen years since we played them, but they're the same. They're going to smash it at you, and their splits will be a little bit wider. It's going to give you more of a triple option type look. But it's going to be, watching from the stands, it's going to look similar to what Gilbert was doing. I don't think I haven't seen the stats. I doubt they put the ball in the air very much against Humboldt. But, yeah, it's definitely one of those where they're going to control the clock, and you got to get them off the field if you want your offense to see the ball at all.
Well, Coach, we appreciate all of the time last night and here again this morning. Get some rest. You don't have a volleyball tournament, I don't think, to go to today. So enjoy the weekend, the 3-day weekend, and we look forward to catching up with you early next week.
Yeah, no volleyball for me, but we are driving. We're making a 3-hour trek to Waverly here this morning now with Olivia's finally moving up to college. So
Okay.
I think Warburg must be about the last college to get started because I think everybody else has a weekend maybe. But so yeah, I'll have to talk my wife into driving at least partial so I can download some film to the iPad and get going from there.
There you go. Well,
No volleyball, but we still got a road trip.
tell I say hi and best of luck at college. Enjoy the road trip and the final weekend with her. Appreciate you joining us here today.
Yep, thanks again for all the coverage, and go Tigers.
You bet. Head coach Craig Rowetter again with the Carroll Tigers, back with more of the Peach Ranch Coaches Show here on the CB Sports Network.
A highlight home from Mid-Iowa Real Estate, 2017 Northwest Street. Great curb appeal and well-maintained home on a large lot with 3 bedrooms and 2 bath areas. Covered deck, patio area, large heated 2-car garage with lots of off-street parking, and a storage shed. Beautifully updated, very open, and good-sized bedrooms, and another living space downstairs. Lots to check out at 2017 Northwest Street with a price of $254,000. This is Holly Streck with another quality offering from Mid-Iowa Real Estate. Take your tour at midiowateam.com.
Hey, moms and dads out there, let Pizza Ranch make feeding your family fun and affordable. Every Tuesday night, kids 12 and under eat free. Whether they love the pizza, chicken, or mac and cheese, you'll make them all happy. When you're on the go with sports, church, or, well, just life, come in for a quick and delicious buffet. The best part is, they'll do the dishes. Pizza Ranch makes family meals fun and fast. For delivery or carryout, call 792-3456. Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
Rusty Wintermouth, the head volleyball coach with the Kemper Knights, joining us here on this Saturday morning. Here, of course, the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM. The Knights start the season 3-0. Couple of wins Monday, a win Tuesday night. And, Coach, congratulations on a nice start to the season. Appreciate you joining us here today.
Well, very, very good morning, but it's a weird morning. We don't have a tournament this morning, and just to wake up calmly and not have to worry about getting to the bus, get the kids on and head out somewhere. It was nice of Humboldt to move them off of the Labor Day weekend and put it on to the following weekend. So another reason for me to go visit possibly the grandkids or go see my dad. But it is a beautiful morning here, and as always, you guys were always a good luck charm on Monday night, and it just rubbed off on us for Tuesday night as well too. But good morning. Good morning to everybody, and thanks for the opportunity to talk.
You bet, Coach. Let's talk Monday night. You defeated Underwood 2-0, got by Van Meter 2-0. Probably not maybe as crisp as the girls wanted and stuff, and talking to them a few minutes after the matches happened, but you still get the wins. You found some things to probably work on, so probably a good night overall.
I guess, as they always say at the beginning of the season, all you got to do is worry about winning by 2, and that's it. I don't know if we put too much pressure on ourselves, or I as the coach or coaches, but when we got all done, we realized the best part about the night was that we got to see some things, some rotations. We made some adjustments, and they had success with those adjustments. So it was a night of making adjustments because, during the summer, and I know summer is summer, but we felt like we had a lot of good things working in a positive directions early in the preparing for the season. But I still think that first match, that first night out, they were a little bit nervous. Good crowd that came to watch, and so we took a lot of good things off of that, and we're able to, in our next night against Preston, able to make more adjustments, and the kids are doing a great job feeling out the coaches and just kind of responding with a little bit quicker reaction of what changes we want to make. So the kids, if anything, that Monday night was, I thanked them for going through the rough spots and doing a great job of listening to their position coaches. And I kind of sound like a football coach now with position coaches, but for them listening to the position coaches when we had timeouts on the adjustments, and to see them go out and make those, even though they weren't long-lasting adjustments or they weren't, 2 or 3 point run adjustments, they were adjustments to get us back in it or adjustments just to maintain. Was nice to see out of the kids, and then we just prepared for mentally for an aggressive team at Creston.
What do you think was the difference there late? I know we talked the other night after the match, but you trailed against Van Meter late and then you trailed most of that second set, but able to come back and get the win to put that one away in 2 sets. What was the difference late?
Well, sometimes you always just think when things are going good, they're going to just continue. They did what they did talking to Van Meter's coach and then and just watching video. The only difference they made is that they started serving a little bit different, a little bit short. They started going short, then they would go long. So they started doing a better job in that second set of placing their serves, and we weren't ready for it, and we just adjusted late to them. So that was really the only difference. They just got us out of serve receive, and we passed, very poorly. And we always do a rating system, and in that first set we were, high middle 2s, and the second set I don't even know if it cracked 1.5 out of 3, we had problems, but Elsa had to run her tail off just to get some sets to the set of hitters, and we just did enough, which means to me that this team didn't allow themselves to fold. They recognized things were going wrong, and they held their timeout or their in-between points a little bit longer to discuss, and they just started to remind each other. And if you know Kaylee and Bree and Mia and all the kids that do back row serve receive, they have a high pride in themselves in doing it. And one thing they said to each other is that, guys, we've got to pick up our calmness of our passes and give Elsa a chance. And it was nice of them to own something, and then for Elsa to come back and reiterate that I got to do a better job of changing my starting position as well too. So that means to me that they're doing a good job of coaching themselves on the court. We don't always have to give them a reason, but they're giving a reason why it's something, and it wasn't putting blame on somebody else. It was saying I've got to do this. So that was a key factor in having them come out of that match and get ready for the next one. So accountability and ownership were one thing that they really discussed after the Van Meter. Even though you had a good one, a good set and a bad set, they just they wanted to account for what they weren't able to do in that second set. Who cared what happened in the first set? They wanted to talk about the second set and what they had to do. And so that was fun to hear. And as a coach, you want to know that they're coaching themselves, making adjustments, and that they're trusting the work they put in and their ability to play the game of volleyball.
And, Coach, it sounds like Tuesday night down at Creston, that third set was kind of the team you anticipate having this year, really, really crisp the third set.
Yeah, well, the sets just kind of worked their way to that because you could tell we were just starting to build up a little bit. Serve receive passing was really fun to watch. That was probably, like I told him at the end, I said, if I could give out a game ball or game balls, it would have to go to the DSs and liberos because you guys just kept the ball alive on all their attacks because Preston did a nice job. We had more digs than I can ever remember, but Preston did a nice job of themselves defensively, picking the ball up, forcing us into situations, but we were doing a good job of rotation and movement without the ball and anticipating, movements that they were doing. And it was fun to watch the kids continually come back at them. They didn't worry how long the rally had gone because in practice we work on long rallies against each other. but they worked on just trying to finish a play. And we do what's called no touch, and no touch means the ball doesn't hit the floor. And that was kind of the goal. Let's pick up our defensive effort compared to Monday night. Let's have a no touch, and let's just keep coming after them, even if they bring the ball back, which we knew after last year that they were a very scrappy defensive team. And that's kind of where it was in the first two sets. They were very scrappy coming after us, and we had to come back. And then finally in the third set, we really, I think our pounding of the ball at all three levels most of the time, back row attack was very prominent on Tuesday night. We just wore them out, and they weren't able to keep rallies going as long. And then our serve was pretty dangerous as well too. I have a feeling. We may have missed one serve all night, I think, or maybe not any. I'd have to go back and look, but the difference was we just kept attacking, and even if they picked it up, and then as the third set went, they didn't quite pick up as many balls. So I have to hang off to the kids that they just kept fighting for every point and doing that no-touch mentality.
Well, Coach, congrats on the nice start to the season with 3 straight wins. Enjoy the weekend with the grandchild or your dad, and the Labor Day weekend. I know you head to Ames on Tuesday. We look forward to catching up with you again and seeing how things go. So appreciate you joining us here today.
All right, Mr. Blankman, again, as always, thanks for your time and your effort, and always remember you're a good luck charm for Kemper Catholic.
Head coach Rusty Wintermode again with the Kemper volleyball team, back with more of the P-Trans Coaches Show coming up next here on the Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network.
At Kirps and Brothers, honoring heroes is not just a yearly tradition. It's a core part of their identity. Founded by a family whose father, Bill, proudly served the country, the business is built on the values he instilled: hard work, integrity, and a deep commitment to serving others. Kirps and Brothers proudly salutes every veteran and active duty service member for the sacrifice they and their families have made. From their families to yours, they extend heartfelt thanks for defending the freedoms we all cherish. Kirps and Brothers, built on respect, run with pride.
Mason Nealon talking with Kemper girls tennis coach Dina Finneran. And Dina, we appreciate you joining us here today.
Yes, hello.
So talking about kind of the year, you guys are almost to the finish line. Take us back and kind of give us your overall thoughts of how you feel like the year has gone so far.
Our year has actually gone pretty well. Looking over our season, we are currently at 6 wins and 4 losses. And the 4 losses that we've had have been some pretty tough competition. We lost against St. Edmunds. They're a pretty good team. We lost against Clarinda. They're a pretty tough competition as well. And so we've done pretty well this year.
And so for you guys this year, from day one to now, what's kind of been the most improvement that you've seen?
Our most improvement? Well, we've just been really working on our fundamentals. So just, really working on kind of the basic skills and getting those down, and really working on those skills and improving those have been our benefit.
And then for you as well, what do you feel like you guys can kind of fix a little bit going into this postseason?
We just trying to fix those errors and just kind of keep working on that. We're really doing well as a team and working together. We're really doing well. So.
And then for you kind of stepping up and getting the head coaching role for this year, how does it feel, and kind of how was the transition into you becoming the head coach for the girls this year?
I think I transitioned well. I was the JV coach last year, and I know the girls. I've been teaching at Kemper for 14 years, so I knew the girls going in. I've taught them, so the transition went very smoothly.
And then you're number 1 this year, Charlotte Schwabe. I mean, what a hot year she's had so far, undefeated throughout the entire year. What does that mean to kind of have a number 1 that can go out there and you can rely on to get the win night in and night out?
Oh, she has done awesome. She is very independent. She just goes out there. She knows what she's doing, and she just gets the job done.
And then behind that, it's like you got a lot of girls that are still out there getting wins for you. Bella Lou right behind that. How does it feel that, you can have girls behind that as well that can kind of back her up and get wins as well?
Oh yes, Bella Lou is also doing just as well. She is awesome. She works very well with Charlotte, even putting them together as doubles. I know when those two are my number one doubles team, I can almost guarantee that they are going to have a win as well. And then my number three, Reagan Geringer, she is doing just as great. So I can almost guarantee that my number 1, 2, and 3 is going to pull out my 3 wins, and then I just move forward from there.
And then for you as well, I mean, the Hawkeye 10 kind of shaping up decent. How do you feel like you guys sit in the Hawkeye 10 going so far?
I feel we have a good view going in. So, I'm really looking forward to it.
And then how do you feel like the transition into fall has gone for you guys? I mean, going from the spring where it can be kind of chilly to start the year, now going to the fall where it's a lot warmer and you guys can practice throughout the summer.
I really like it. We were dealing with a lot of the heat going in right at the beginning, but right now the weather is beautiful. Yesterday we had a meet, and it was really nice out. So we're really enjoying this weather.
And then for you guys, what are kind of your goals going into the postseason coming up here soon?
Last year we ended 4th in the state. So, we're looking forward to the state qualifiers and making it back to state again.
Well, Dina, we appreciate you joining us here on this morning, and we wish you the best of luck going into the postseason.
All right. Thank you very much.
At St. Anthony Regional Hospital, we're proud to be recognized by the American Heart Association for excellence in stroke care and cardiac arrest survival. Why? Because we follow the latest research-based guidelines proven to help patients recover faster and live healthier lives. It's just one more way St. Anthony is committed to delivering the highest quality care for you and your family. Always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
Available now at carrollbroadcasting.com is a brand new episode of my podcast, Must Know People. Hi, it's John Ryan. This time, we focus in on an iconic business around the area, Red's Place in Breda. Bruce and Russ Bass have owned it for 38 years. They talk about the story of their ownership, the early days, and of course, the devastating fire about a dozen years ago. Join us, Must Know People. It's available now at carrollbroadcasting.com with Red's Place.
Back here at the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. We're talking right now with Riley Ludwig, the Carroll volleyball coaches. They are heading off this morning to their first matches of the season. They're heading down to Harlan for the tournament today. So, Coach, as always, appreciate you joining us here today, and hope the bus ride went well.
Yeah. No, we're excited to play.
You bet, Coach. You guys, it's a big tournament down there at Harlan, always is. I know some of the teams down there, Missouri Valley, Glenwood, Underwood, St. Albert, Xyrocorn, Kimballton, Harlan, ADM, and you guys. So some really good talent at that tournament that you guys are going to be facing. But before we dive into that, with this being your first meet, you have had some scrimmages. You scrimmaged Greene County last week. You went up to the South Central Calhoun tournament and stuff for scrimmage last Saturday a week ago. So what did you learn here recently in these scrimmages that maybe you hadn't seen or was a little different from when we did the preseason interview with you just a little over a week ago?
Well, it's definitely good to play other people. When you're playing yourself in practice all the time, it doesn't, you get used to each other, and they kind of just play in a routine instead of playing to their competition. But we are doing a really good job offensively, moving the ball around and things like that. But every once in a while we get stuck on defense. So something that we've been working on a lot this week is defense in different situations on the other side, talking through it and just kind of helping each other out instead of hoping somebody else is going to get the ball. But that's our biggest thing. And right now is our defense and a little bit of blocking stuff. There's just every once in a while, if our block isn't set up, our defense, can't get set up. So we've been working really hard on blocking on our defense on some of the scrambling plays. But other than that, they played really well.
Did you see some progress when you were playing somebody else in those scrimmages in the areas you wanted to?
Yeah. No, it seemed like Tuesday, as the day went on, we started playing better and better, and night went on. And then at that South Central scrimmage, as the day went on, our last game was definitely our best. So I guess if we can keep improving like that, throughout the season, we'll be really successful.
Did you feel like you had your lineup and your rotation fairly set even before you saw the team in the scrimmages, or do you feel like, things solidified a little bit more through those scrimmages?
We had a pretty good idea of the players and the position they would play, but we did switch some things and try some things about who they were playing next to, serve receive wise, who they were passing next to. But no, it was after this summer, it was super helpful to see a lot of those kids in the gym every day all summer, whether they had other activities and other sports. And then we pretty much after Saturday, it's pretty much set for this next Saturday. But of course, depending on the season, that can always change too.
Did anybody surprise you or anything? And like you said, you were in the gym with them all summer, so probably not. But when you were playing somebody next to each other different that maybe they hadn't done much, did anything surprise you? Did you find a group that worked really well together?
We have a lot of, we're able to kind of move a lot of kids around. So it was really cool to see our DSs can play anywhere in the back row and still play really well. And then same with our hitters. We're kind of moving them around a little bit. We have opportunities to switch our pin players and put our middle on our right side and things like that to help with some blocking on our big outsides when competition starts. But it was really not surprising, but really, really awesome to see how well they did in some of those situations, especially when they're deciding on the court where they're playing, or I'm switching them just to give them a little bit of a break, or pinching someone on serve receive, and it's really awesome to see how well they respond to some of that.
Coach, did you see the excitement building with the girls this week in practice, knowing that, today is that first match that counts of the season?
Oh, yeah. On Monday it feels like it's so far away, and then by the time it gets to the day, it's a little nerve-wracking. But they play really well at tournaments, and then I think the nerves come out more so on our Tuesday nights. So we'll see how we do on Tuesday. But
well, they break down the Heartland tournament, if I remember correctly. It's been a couple of years since I've been down there, but they break it down into pools and different gyms. What's the pool look like that you're in today?
We see Harlan, Exira, and Underwood first. And then in the afternoon, they go into that bracket. So that'll be ADM, Missouri Valley, Glenwood, or St. Albert is who we'll see in the afternoon. But we'll feel really good about our pool. We did really well last year. We went 5-1 here last year. So the excitement is definitely there, and they're definitely ready to do just as well, or, even better, and not drop that one game that we did last year.
What do you think this team will take out of having so much success a year ago down here that maybe can help them today?
I think just the confidence, but also knowing that, they can do it. We lost five seniors, but we also returned the other half of our team. So they know they can do it. They know what it takes to do well. And then I think just getting us and moving us to that next level and taking the next step to maybe not drop some of those games that we shouldn't have, because I know that was pretty disappointing last year for a lot of them when we did lose that one. And there were a couple tournaments where, we were playing tired, late football game the night before, but we dropped a game that we shouldn't have, and that's frustrating. I think coming from that, they know what they need to do to not do that this year.
I know it's the first matches of the year probably for a few of the teams down there, but I know Underwood was at Kemper the other night for the Triangular. What do you know about the teams that are in your pool today, and how much homework have you had a chance to do with them?
Yeah, we've watched some film. Sometimes it's hard to keep everybody straight. I've taken a lot of notes to kind of refer to beforehand, but the goal is to just go in there and play at our level, play up, and then kind of get rid of some of our mistakes offensively, and then just kind of apply what we've been working on the defensive side of things.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us here today. Best luck coming up in all the matches today. Look forward to seeing how you and the girls do here today. So appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch up with you again Tuesday down at Winterset.
Thank you.
You bet. Head Coach Riley Ludwig again with the Carroll Volleyball team joining us here on the Peach Ranch Coaches Show here on the CB Sports Network.
At St. Anthony Regional Hospital, we're proud to be recognized by the American Heart Association for excellence in stroke care and cardiac arrest survival. Why? Because we follow the latest research-based guidelines proven to help patients recover faster and live healthier lives. It's just one more way St. Anthony is committed to delivering the highest quality care for you and your family. Always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
We're back here on this Saturday morning on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show as the Kemper Cross Country teams have made their way, not making their way, they've made their way down to Glenwood for their opening meet of the season. And joining us to talk about that is head coach Thomas Nelson. And coach, it's always good to catch up with you, and congratulations, it's finally meet day.
Thank you for having us, and thanks for all your coverage.
You bet, Coach. And it's been a kind of a fun fall for you. You've got some depth on both the girls and the boys. You're finally getting the season underway. Let's start with the boys. Should be a really strong season for them. You've got three outstanding runners kind of at the top and then some good balance and depth behind them. What's the week been like for them, and are they ready to roll here today?
It's been a really good week this week. We got a track workout in earlier. We did some repeat thousands, and the boys handled it. Boys and girls handled the workout really well. So I know they're all excited to run. Like you mentioned, we've got Dayton, Fletch, and Thomas, who will be kind of prior top three senior leaders, and they've been great at practice, and I know all three of them are ready to get racing again. And then, speaking of our depth with Wyatt, Oliver, Jacob, Luca, Jamie, and Gabe Clausen, all those guys are going to be fighting it out today to figure out, who's going to be that back end of our varsity and who's going to be our top two JV guys. So those guys have put a ton of work in, and I'm really optimistic about the times they're going to put down. I think they've all improved a lot. So it'll be really interesting to see how it shakes out.
You mentioned the track workout with the 1000s. What'd you guys do after that this week? Did you up mileage, or do you kind of lower mileage to kind of let them rest a little bit coming into today?
We took it pretty easy after that. We did get a workout in where we went easy for a bit and then just kind of flex at race pace for just a short bit to remind our legs how that feels. But pretty much after that, we were all focused on getting ready for the race today.
Did you notice any difference with the guys on, how practice went and just the intensity and the focus this week?
Our guys do a really good job of locking in, especially when we have those kind of race pace practices on the track, or whether it's a progression run. When we do challenging practices, our kids do a great job locking in. And I thought some of our younger guys, especially your Lucas, your Olivers, and your Haydens, really showed that they have that ability too to lock in and show up for the big practices. So I think all three of those will make a really good impression for some underclassmen at the meet.
Coach, I know some of the teams there today probably ran down at Shenandoah's meet on a Tuesday earlier on in the week, which gives them maybe a slight advantage a little bit. But this is going to be a really good field. It's part of the reason I think you guys go down there every year.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour drive for us, but Glenwood runs a great meet. It's on time. They do a great job with their course being in good shape, and the competition's worth the drive. We see the majority of the Hawkeye 10s there. We're going to see Lewis Central, Red Oak, Harlan, and Crescent both looked good on Tuesday. So it's a really good chance for us to see kind of how we stack up with the rest of the conference. And I know our kids enjoy that competition too. So we're really happy to be able to run here.
How's the course fit the runners you have? I know every runner a little different. Do you have some guys that this course really sets up well for?
Well, we've been down there enough that our kids recognize it, that it's a course that you can really put some fast times on. So I think all our runners are really confident and really happy to be going, because we've got the historical data that shows lots of kids run yards on this course. Even though it's early in the season, that last mile or so, you get to go kind of slightly downhill on those switchbacks, which makes it great for spectators, great for coaches, and the kids know just keep leaning forward, and I'm going to do just fine and be able to finish.
How quickly do you get to all of your spots to be able to catch up with everybody?
I move pretty well. So there's some of those terraces between the switchbacks kind of scare me because they're pretty steep and the footing's not always great. But this is one of my favorite courses for viewing, because lots of times, especially when you get to that last mile, you can see almost the majority of your team all at once. So it's definitely a coach's course.
Coach, let's flip over to the girls. How did practice go? Sounds like they did those repeat 1000s really well. How did the rest of the week go?
Our girls, I thought, just had a fantastic week of practice. Some of kind of our top group right now requested to run Wednesday morning instead of Tuesday afternoon, and we did that, and I was just so impressed that that's what they chose to do. It was an early morning, but they all showed up and really crushed the workout. We've got a lot of young girl runners who are really pushing for varsity spots. Grace Schoonover is just a freshman, and she just absolutely rocked that workout. Same thing with Hazel Clausen, who's a sophomore, and she was one of our better runners towards the end of the year last year. Just did really well. And then you've got returning varsity kids like Shelby, Maddie, Anna, Logan, who all just, throughout the week I thought were super consistent. I know they're excited, and I'm excited to see how they kind of compare to our team last year at this meet.
Coach, you mentioned going early on Wednesday morning, kind of the request of some of the, the girls. How do you balance that at this time of the year where, sometimes you're going to be running late afternoon during the week, other times you run in the mornings on the weekends? The weather different. It's a lot cooler usually in the morning at this time of the year than it is the afternoons. How do you balance that out in your workouts?
We just try to make sure we spread the tough ones out a bit, and, it's good to run all different types of weathers. Because we are going to have some meets where it's hot. We're going to have some meets when it's cool. So in general, we just try to make it work. We've got a lot of kids who are working or doing multiple sports. So we try to be as flexible as possible and make it as easy as possible for them.
And, Coach, I know one of the things you and I were talking about during the commercial break on the girls' side, you love the depth and the competition that this group is bringing to themselves this season.
Yeah, we've got about 20 girls out right now, and I don't know if we'll add a couple or not, but 20 for us is really great. 3 years ago we had 10, and not only do we have more, but I think they're just competing better. They're competing better at practice, and they're pushing each other. And I think that has a lot to do with some of our older girls who have made a good impression over the years and have kind of seen our team develop from a smaller team to a larger one where we're really, now that 7th spot on varsity, it's going to be a fight for that. And I think we're going to see that happen in the race today where some of these girls realize, hey, we do want to pack run. We do want to push each other. But at the end of the day, it's a race. And they're going to have to race to that final varsity spot. And that's really exciting.
With this being the first meet of the year, a lot of times, I know you said you want your group to kind of run as a pack, but sometimes you get it where as the season goes on, you find a runner maybe that you're used to running with from another school that kind of helps pace you a little bit. How do you do that in that first match of the year?
Especially on the boys' side, I know some of our boys are going to recognize some of the kids from the Hawkeye 10 meets that they ran around a lot last year. They know their names, so they kind of know that's the guys they're trying to run with and beat. We also get to do some scouting and kind of tell our kids, this is kind of the range you should be in. And we can tell them pretty much, kids from other schools who should be around them and who they're looking for. And as the meet goes on today, we'll be able to say, you need to push up to the next group or, tell them they're doing great because they're overachieving. And so just kind of preparing them that way is the best thing to do.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck down there today. I appreciate you joining us here. We look forward to catching up with you each and every week and hope to get out to one of the meets here soon.
Thank you very much for your coverage. Go Tigers, go Knights, and have a great weekend.
Head Coach Thomas Nelson again with the Kemper Cross Country teams back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up next year on KCIM, part of the Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network.
Hey moms and dads out there, let Pizza Ranch make feeding your family fun and affordable. Every Tuesday night, kids 12 and under eat free. Whether they love the pizza, chicken, or mac and cheese, you'll make them all happy. When you're on the go with sports, church, or, well, just life, come in for a quick and delicious buffet. The best part is, they'll do the dishes. Pizza Ranch makes family meals fun and fast. For delivery or carryout, call 792-3456. Pizza Ranch, just off Highway 30 in Carroll.
Whoa, that's good.
Time to wrap up our Pizza Ranch Coaches Show for this Saturday morning. Again, the first of many Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Of course, we do this all the way into March at the end of the winter sports season. But, of course, I want to thank Ryan Steinkamp from the Kemper football team, Craig Rowetter from the Carroll football team, Rusty Wintermo from the Kemper volleyball team, Dina Finneran from the Kemper girls tennis team, Riley Ludwig from the Carroll volleyball team, and Thomas Nelson from the Kemper cross country team for joining us here today. Don't forget our player of the game, Culver player of the game banners. They're up on the CB Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Also, the audio from last night's radio broadcast is again available on our website on the Listen to Past Games page and stuff. You can also get game recaps with the complete stats and scores from last night. We'll have those up over the weekend as well. Type up recap stories. Those will be on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report at sports.1380kcm.com. And the New Way Ford Scoreboard Show from last night is also podcasted on the website. And you can find the New Way Scoreboard live page that New Way Ford sponsors. That is also available online. All of the scores from the area districts and then scores from statewide as well. We do have some high school sports coming up today in volleyball. Carroll and Exira and Kimballton go down to the Harlan tournament. They're getting that underway at 8 o'clock this morning. Arweva Anglin and Ralston will be at the ESAC tournament starting at 8:30. And Coon Rapids Baird will be at the Colfax Mingo tournament starting at 9 today. In cross country, Kemper heads to Glenwood. They'll get that underway at 9 o'clock this morning. Thanks for tuning in again to our Pizza Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning. We'll be back again next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.